So lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Top stories in the news tonight. CHILUFYA TAYALI says with a proper rebranding, the PF can bounce back as he exhorts HH. The British government applauds Zambia's stance on the rule of law. A 56-year-old man of Lusaka abandons his family for another woman. In international news, Ivorian activists urge legal support for woman accusing minister of rape. And in sports news, Copper Queens beat Namibia by 3-0 in COSAFA Championship.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Hello once again, another news in detail. Independent Churches of Zambia chairperson Bishop David Masupa has underscored the need to promote a culture of giving in view of safeguarding underprivileged citizens in society. He was speaking on the sidelines of the donation of assorted items to vulnerable citizens by Triumphant Foundation Trust in Lusaka Sunday. Bishop Masupa says the gesture by the foundation is the fulfillment of the gospel principle of sharing with the needy in society. Foundation Chief Executive Officer Hola Simbeye pledged to continue helping the needy in society. We have more in this report.
It is said no one has ever become poor by giving. As a matter of fact, it is by giving that one expresses the love for another. Sunday, October 3rd, 2021, Triumphant Foundation Trust have donated assorted items, foodstuff and monetary gifts to widows, the aged, orphans, persons with mental disability in incarceration. During the event, Independent Churches of Zambia chairperson Bishop David Masupa has underscored the need to promote the culture of giving in view of safeguarding underprivileged citizens in the society. And Foundation Chief Executive Officer Hola Simbeye reaffirms commitment towards helping the needy in society.
Because the Bible says, what benefit is there if I can minister to someone and say, go your way and God blesses you, without ministering, like the bishop says, to their physical needs, then my faith is in vain. So we want to appreciate, especially in this community, to those widows and orphans that are benefiting. It's not the first time. That is the ministry. That is her ministry. That is what she does.
Upon the women and women of God, and not forgetting my prophet here, Brother Michael, who has been always standing with us in prayer. And today we are having a mega outreach where we'll be giving about 150 widows because Triumph Foundation is all about sowing the seed of love. So that is what happening today.
In attendance was Bishop Nelly Chikwanda, who has commended the organization for the gesture.
Then, how do we demonstrate the love of God? It's by reaching out to the needy, because that's the heart of God. The heart of God is to make sure that the total man is ministered to. We know when we bring them to the Lord, their place in heaven is secured. But what about their environment? They must be well helped or nurtured.
Behave and how the church has to offer to the people, like let's say the community, they were supposed to benefit from the church. So as the church, we are learning so many things through Triumph Foundation that it's not all about preaching the word of God, but we also have to extend our hand by touching those people that are in need.
Meanwhile, beneficiaries have thanked Triumphant Foundation Trust for reaching out.
Correctional service and a facility. We have indeed benefited from Triumph Foundation, the one which we are witnessing today, as in delivering and showcasing their way of helping even the needy and the vulnerables.
The donation was hosted by Light Ministries in Lusaka, benefiting about 150 persons at a cost of 192,000 kwacha. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Some residents of Chipata compound have expressed concern over the uncollected heaps of garbage in the area, saying it poses a health hazard to nearby households. They have noted that in the wake of the coming rainy season, possibilities of an outbreak of waterborne diseases such as cholera are high. Residents have since appealed to the local authority to ensure garbage in the area and surrounding townships are collected and deposited in the rightful dumping sites. We have more in this report.
For years, waste management has emerged as one of the major challenges facing Lusaka City. The volume of waste being generated continues to increase at a faster rate than the ability of the city authorities to improve on the financial and technical resources needed to parallel this growth. Arguably, the Lusaka City Council is struggling to manage the waste under tight budgets and highly inadequate and malfunctioning equipment. This is evidenced from the inefficient collection practices with variable levels of service, poor and unhygiene operating practices in the waste management in the city. However, this genuine excuse does not seem to silence voices of residents being inconvenienced by the continued vice. For instance, residents of Chipata compound who have expressed concern over uncollected heaps of garbage in the area. They say the heap is disturbing surrounding businesses and pose a healthy hazard to the nearby households.
So at least tureromba bakansela bakuno batuwamishekwa batupangire korona road apa turepita po bwino no baleta feche chire chaba pamande supermarket bareposa mu ifisoso noti bareposera so pansi nishika babwino no mbanga tabakarete kuno bakansela twalisanka kare baturekereshe no banisha amavoti tukaposa cyane tufuire fe twababikira amavoti tumone fe balabomba apa so twapapa tabatuwamishe apa wati mwamaisanga yaisa fikalafu makulia fikalaisa ku ababa amashopu ababa tantika mumbali ya road nishu mutu tete ashito mutu ikintu fintu firenu nkatete akwanishi so turefa mutuwamishe apa turepita po bwino.
Another resident has suggested what she believes can be a lasting solution to this.
Then bafuni goleta bajama moto konzo tengera kudala bamba kupita munga mwanezo piga ngachinga ngaleko beda kupeinga kabani matini kwacha ngani 5 kwacha iliko better than kutaila hapa because izakasira ngati baza viola che without cooking up again kuti bakambo pita mona chimoto ka dumping side izabwere unless but pangire madezi kabani Monday kabani Friday out alliance ankala we azoti mabini bazambo boti tenge. Otherwise orwanga kili ngati moto kasiza kapitamo che mu madoma bana kupita ambusana usutu tenga mabini kuli pesiza kasira dumping site izamba kupelea kwa nshimoto kwa kuli balance tenge olona ne sininga ngale nacho chibini bado tita ilabo because kuli kwa nchinga pereke zapereka kuti.
Residents have since appealed to the local authority to ensure garbage in the area and around townships are collected and deposited in the rightful dumping sites. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, Lusaka.
A 56-year-old man of Kanyama Township in the capital Lusaka has abandoned his 38-year-old wife and 7 kids for his girlfriend. The man, identified as Mr. Nyoni, left his family almost a month ago after he told his wife that he went to do some casual work but never returned home. This predicament has prompted Grace Nyoni and her 7 children to seek refuge at the Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights organization. Meanwhile, the organization's director, Richard Nkuwa, has described the increasing wave of some men abandoning their families, mostly in densely populated areas, as shameful. We have more in this report.
There was a war of words at Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights organization after a distressed mother of 7 of Old Kanyama Township in the capital Lusaka narrated how a 56-year-old husband, identified as Roderick Nyoni, abandoned her and the children. Grace Nyoni, 38, whose predicament has prompted her to seek refuge at the organization, explains that her husband, whom she has been married to for the past 20 years, went to do some casual works few days ago but never returned home.
Nikuti kisocha bilikuza tumabokoma tukawasa tujesera abana kuti bana bacu bankarali bendarama babo abeleka bazitekanya drama mimi ni magulisa ngeni drama na magula kuti nokuje bani babo yasocha babo kuti drama zani kulisa kuti pa nyumba bani bacu bana siwaenda kusukuru bana bonse 7.
To her shocking surprise, while she was heading to the market, she saw her husband, who had earlier informed her that they had traveled for work, coming out of a one-roomed house believed to belong to his 44-year-old girlfriend, Olipa Zumba.
Vanikutizwa muna papaka mwanza. So chifundo cha munhu nisendera neke nenda kutoa today. Nisendera napeza nakabake twenda mtoli. So muna vanga vaja. Nepa namba konka naina pesa choke mtoli. Bato mtoli chinabali ndiye bangena munyumba ni bangana. Bangena chape munyumba nandi pa nakonka mjamu. Natinda kunshito kuno. Bambo kamba ta. Natinda kunshito nifunza teke munde kunshito. Pesa naone kwa munshito mamsenzo mimi ndiye na sekula tona inangena mjamu. Kungena mujamu brapeza makazi bena ngwalikoni nakamwana pa city. Ni chiwanlu machi bachechi ketana. Chana kunulwa kubedi na peza wamayi bachikulia nakamba tawe abasiwa mimi ngengena muna banga. I think ni wamini wagona. Sana bwananga uti niko mekudoja nuza tia mami si yani viteko sindine. Ndipa naenda kubedi nangana wakazi mungu bakulisa. Sasa pana wafunza imwe. Ndiye wakazi abananikutisira abana shuwa abana ziputika so ndiye wakazi abanikutisira abana bangaba.
Upon this discovery, Miss Nyoni took a rival to this human rights organization, demanding she leaves her husband so that he can return home. Meanwhile, the organization director, Richard Nkua, has described the increased wealth of some men abandoning their families, mostly in densely populated areas, as shameful. He says Mr. Nyoni refused to appear before them after he was summoned so that they could resolve the issue.
So as an organization, we urge all the men to stand up and defend and support for their own children, provide for their own children, because these children, they are the future leaders. If we don't support them now, meaning that we are not going to lay the foundation for them.
The organization, however, has disclosed that it will ensure to solve this issue, just like its mandate of helping residents of Kanyama. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Leadership Movement President Richard Silumbe has told Camnet News that as a political party, they will not wait until they form government in order to empower citizens and contribute to the job creation agenda. He says his political party wants to be proactive in creating a better Zambia through empowerment of its members. Recently, the political party empowered over 200 members from the leadership movement in Ipusukilo compound on the Copper Belt and have been empowered to manufacture milling equipment, among other things. And in an interview with Camnet TV News, Dr. Silumbe points out that the long-lasting solution to ending the infiltration of political party cadres in markets and bus stations is through job creation and skills development.
Well, we are just encouraging the current government to work hard towards giving the people jobs. We as leadership movement believe that jobs will be the only answer to political cadreism that we are seeing today. We have been giving all those ideas in public to say for the country to grow, we need to make use of the energy of the youth, the energy of the young people. For as long as we don't have a solution to jobs, we are going to see cadres around. They'll be chased for a day, they'll still regroup and come back. Start harassing people in the markets as well as in the bus stations. So we need to work hard as a country towards providing jobs to the young people. And this is what we are giving to the current government. We are emphasizing that the sooner they do it, the better for the country.
Lusaka City Mayor Chilando Chitangala has urged all stakeholders countrywide to work together to implement the decentralization policy. In 2002, Zambia adopted the decentralization policy of 2002 and launched it in 2004 with the hope of implementing it within a decade. The policy was later reviewed, and in December 2013, the decentralization policy 2013 was launched. In an interview with Camnet News, Ms. Chitangala disclosed that despite the decentralization policy having been around for quite some time, implementation has been slow. She explains that decentralization means giving power to the people to drive the implementation of projects and the government agenda.
This is something that we've been waiting for. Even in my last council, we were trying to get decentralization or just fall into place, and also just the ministries to involve some of the issues that we're supposed to handle as a local authority. So I know that this decentralization started many years ago, but just to put into place, it has taken a very long time. But as City Council, in the last term where I was, we actually built 7 civic centers in all the 7 constituencies, and that was preparation for decentralization. And it's very important because that means that we'll be getting closer to the people. And I, for one, believe that getting closer to the people is something that is very cardinal, because then the people don't have to come to civic center alone as a headquarters. They can come to, they can just have they can sort out their issues right there in their communities. So I think this is a very welcome move, and I urge all those people that are supposed to be part of making sure that decentralization takes place, they should listen to what the presidential speech said, what the president said. So we need to do that. So I'm very happy. I'm one of those that's very happy and respect that decentralization must take place.
Chasefu constituency member of parliament in the Eastern Province, Mishek Nyambose, regrets that the former ruling Patriotic Front bragged of delivering development across the country, yet they did less to develop Eastern Province. Mr. Nyambose says Zambia is not just Lusaka, hence the need to ensure that development is taken to all parts of the country. The lawmaker has noted with dismay that 57 years down the line, since Zambia got its independence, the Lundazi to Chama road has remained in a deplorable state, thus hindering trade and economic development. Mr. Nyambose adds that he will not rest until the road is worked on, as it is the shortest route to Tanzania via Nakonde border. He says he will continue to engage authorities under the New Dawn government to deliver the much-needed development in the area.
To have developed this country, to have provided unprecedented development, infrastructure, road network. They're just doing it in Lusaka and the other constituencies where they are privileged. They have not been so kind to the people of Chasefu. They have not been so kind to the people of Lundazi. If you look at from Chipata, you just turn off. It's a hell run. So for me, as a member of parliament for Chasefu, I'm working closely with the government of the day, the UPND government, the New Dawn government, with President Hakainde Hichilema, who has shown commitment in his speech that he wants to concentrate and also help the rural parts of this country. And Chasefu is one of them. So I'm very closer to them. I work very closely with them. I've already engaged the Minister of Infrastructure Development, Honorable Mirupi. We exchanged numbers and he said I should go to see him. So I will not rest on this road. You are aware that this road connects to Nakonde, to Tanzania via Nakonde, the nearest route here. And the people of Chasefu, the people of Chama, the people of Lundazi, the people of Chivangali, the people of Eastern Province in general, this is the shortest route.
A governance activist, Louis Mwape, has urged stakeholders not to be President Hakainde Hichilema's praise singers, but provide credible checks and balances aimed at securing the country's development. In an interview, Mr. Mwape states that among things that can make any government fall is when its citizens become passive on governance matters. Meanwhile, Economic and Equity Party leader CHILUFYA Tayali says the 1 month that the president has been in office, he has demonstrated that he is capable of running the country. Mr. Tayali has also noted that the Patriotic Front is able to bounce back to power in the 2026 general elections once it rebrands itself, as it still remains the largest opposition political party in the country. We have more in this report.
For decades, Zambia, just like any other countries in Africa, has similarly suffered from the same kind of perpetual bad governance, corruption, nepotism, and generally incompetence. While the New Dawn government has pledged to bring the change that the country is looking forward to, some stakeholders are concerned that some of the people close to the president may end up being bootlickers and fail to offer critical advice to the president when need arises. Governance activist Lewis Mwape says President Hakainde Hichilema should not tolerate bootlickers, as he is of the view that the result of keeping bootlickers around the presidency, whose praises and worship choruses always mislead the leadership.
The first thing for any government to fall is when the citizens become inactive and when the citizens are captured by a political system. So we encourage our people to be more open-minded, criticize the president where he's going wrong, and I think we have also an open platform where the president has indicated that you have been granted the freedom of expression. So let's use the freedom of expression without intimidation. So let our people express themselves, ensure that we as citizens, we are able to demand accountability, we are demand transparency from all that we have elected into power.
On the other hand, Economic and Equity Party leader Mr. CHILUFYA, who has always been a strong criticizer against President Hakainde Hichilema during the time he was in opposition, seems to have a change of mind, as he now says the 1 month that the president has been in office, he has demonstrated that he is capable of running the country.
From my point of view, Hakainde Hichilema is calling very well. I think he is moving very well as a president. I'm actually very happy. As one person who was very critical of him, I'm very happy with the way he's, acting so far. I think he is doing very well, gaining goodwill locally and internationally. I think that is very good.
Meanwhile, Mr. Tayali has also noted that the opposition Patriotic Front, if once rebrand itself nicely, the possibility of its bouncing back in power is high.
We only have two big political parties, and if PF mobilize itself, rebrand itself, they can be able to come back. But most importantly, it is dependent on how the UPND deliver. They have been given a mandate, and I think it is too early to judge them. Let's see how they will perform. If they perform well, I think they will go past 2026. But if they don't, it is highly likely that they will be voted out, just like PF was voted out.
Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
British Ambassador to Zambia Nicholas Woolley is impressed with Zambia's commitment to abide by the rule of law. Last week, during a press briefing at State House, President Hakainde Hichilema reaffirmed Zambia's commitment towards respect for human rights and adherence to the rule of law. And Mr. Woolley says the United Kingdom hopes for continued enhanced ties with Zambia based on shared interests of promoting democratic tenets. He says the UK will continue to advance trade relations with Zambia and effectively contribute to Zambia's development agenda.
You're right, the UK shares very much the importance of the Zambian government's emphasis on the rule of law. It's vital for democracy, it's vital for citizens' freedoms, it's vital for their freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, that the rule of law is applied and that it's applied fairly. And I think you've seen the President's commitment to that since his election, and you've seen that concretely in certain aspects, including the rule of law being applied to marketplaces and bus stations, where the carders have been a very clear message sent that they're no longer going to be tolerated. You've seen it in terms of the press, and I'm pleased to have the opportunity today to talk to some of the press, such as Prime TV, who've had the chance to reopen. Press freedoms is a vital part of any democracy, and as I say, the rule of law is integral to part of that, and the UK will stand strongly with Zambians, all Zambians, in supporting them to protect it and promote it here in Zambia, here also in the UK and around the world. And we look forward to working with the new administration on a range of our common and shared priorities, including the promotion and protection of people's freedoms and people's rights across the world.
While Zambia continues to face challenges to adequately deliver water and sanitation services, the National Water Supply and Sanitation Council is confident that the country will make advancements in compliance to the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goal number 6 seeks to ensure access to water and sanitation for all by the year 2030. Wasco Chief Inspector Peter Mtale tells Camnet News that they remain resolved to steer intervention that will see the country make progress in line with SDGs. Mr. Mtale says the water utility companies are always engaged to ensure that their strategic plans are in tune with the Global Agenda 2030. He says they are already working on recommendations on water and sanitation to be part of the 8th National Development Plan, which will overall contribute towards achieving the Agenda 2030. Patrick Soko has more in the following report.
2030 Sustainable Development Goal number 6 seeks to ensure safe drinking water and sanitation for all, focusing on sustainable management of water resources, wastewater and ecosystems, and acknowledging the importance of an enabling environment. And at the United Nations General Assembly, President Hakainde Hichilema affirmed Zambia's commitment towards implementing SDGs.
Zambia is aware of the critical role of the United Nations in guiding the world to focus on the Sustainable Development Agenda. In particular, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development has set the tone and benchmarks for countries to incorporate sustainability in their development policies. Our new Dawn government in Zambia is committed to realizing tangible growth and sustainable development while paying particular attention so that this is not achieved at the expense of future generations.
The task remains for the government to translate this commitment into tangible progress by limiting incidences such as this.
Problem of sewer system, which is been there for 2 months now. The situation is not improving from the time when I had made a report to date. It's worse. You can see the waters in the road system where children normally play.
While substantial progress has been made in increasing access to drinking water and sanitation, people mostly in rural areas still lack these basic services, and this is Northwestern Province in Solwezi District. National Water Supply and Sanitation Council Chief Inspector Peter Mutare says they remain committed towards addressing SDG number 6 targets.
Basically, maybe from NASCO's side, it's from our regretted truth. But of course, if you look at these national programs, we participate, and even in setting these targets, we are part of the team that sets the targets in the 7th National Development Plan, and now the 8th. This is coming to an end the end of this year, the 7th, so we're moving to the 8th. So again, we have been requested, can you submit?
He adds that water utility companies are cognizant of the demand on SDG number 6.
So for us, I think all our regulation, whatever we are doing as MASO, is meant to lead all the commercial utilities to achieve these targets. So every year we do give up to the target which commercial utilities. So this is what we want to see you contribute to the overall picture in terms of what we require. And this has been consistently so. If you check our second report, the last chapter, we will see the projection that we have been doing to show how we are moving. So through our tariff conditions and other directives that we issue commercial utilities, we ensure that each and every commercial utility has got that contribution.
The theme for Sustainable Development Goals is not leaving anyone behind, hence more needs to be done to go beyond the phrase. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
You're watching Camnet TV News and not just another channel. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zambia mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners 1,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Are you a small to medium enterprise looking to advertise your products and services within your community and across Zambia? In these economic times, we're here to help you grow your business. Advertise with us on Camnet Market. Camnet Market is offering lower rates for prime time advertising between 06 to 18 hours every day to give your business an edge under the new normal and beyond. For more details, contact us on the following numbers: 097 975 3010 or 096 296 5883, as well as 096 244 726. You can also reach us via email on info@CamnetTVAfrica.com. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Indaba Agricultural Policy Research Institute says government should strengthen the various agricultural policies, such as the Farmer Input Support Program in the country, in order to create more jobs in the sector. In an interview with Camnet News, the institution's executive director, Chance Kabaye, says the Farmer Input Support Program must be enhanced to improve the sector's growth. Mr. Kabaye has since highlighted the need to encourage the electronic voucher system with the view of reducing expenditure. We have more in the following report.
For the new government, as I agree, we have already prepared what we call a white paper. This white paper talks a lot about various good policies that within the whole agricultural value chain will create employment. For instance, we have advocated that the e-voucher the supply of inputs to small-scale farmers should be through the e-voucher system. The e-voucher gives a small-scale farmer to choose what he wants to have. Some of them may not even want to grow maize. They may want to grow cotton. They may want to do other things. They may want to go into livestock. They may want to buy new cattle for their chickens and so on. So that gives a farmer, because each farmer has his own strengths and weaknesses, and also they come from different ecological zones. So the e-voucher equips the farmer to do what he is best suited, to do. But also the e-voucher, why, as I have been advocating for it so strongly, it is because it reduces the public expenditure to government. We have seen where e-voucher has been implemented, the cost of transportation, even the cost of procurement of fertilizers, they become much lower than using what is called direct input support program.
A 16-year-old girl benefiting from the Girls Money Survey project that is spearheaded by Sports Aid Development Trust has called on her fellow girls in the country to be taking part in the Girls Money Survey in view of becoming self-reliant. Maya Mukabe says the program has helped her understand issues pertaining to financial literacy and entrepreneurship. She says the money raised through the program has enabled her to support her personal goals and the rest of her family. We have more in the following report.
Girls Money Survey is a project that is aimed at the creation of equitable opportunities for both girls and boys. A 16-year-old girl benefiting from the project that is spearheaded by Sports Aid Development Trust has advocated for many other girls in the country to apply for the survey, as it has contributed positively to her life. In an interview with Camnet News, Maya Mukabe, who is an entrepreneur, says the project is life-changing.
Starting this project, I didn't know that it would be a life-changing
it was like any other project or workshop where you go there, you learn 2-3 things, and then you go back and life goes on. But then it was a life-changing thing because after the workshop ended, after learning about entrepreneurship through sports, we learned a lot of things which will help us as girls in the near future as well as at present. So we were given revolving funds to start up businesses. Okay, some of the participants were already engaged in businesses, but some weren't. As for me, I was, but my business wasn't that high, my capital wasn't that high, it was just a capital. So after getting the revolving fund, which we applied for after the workshop, I started a much bigger thing than where I was, so my levels increased, so to say.
Ms. Mukabe has explained how she's able to manage her business with major profits.
And after increasing my levels, it was very much easy for me to engage into other things, like helping myself in other things as well as my parents. Because when you look at, I'm going to talk about our family. When you look at our family, I've got my mom, my dad, and 6 siblings. Just imagine 6, and they have to provide for all of us, 6 siblings plus me 7. So they have to provide for all of us. But suppose I engage myself in businesses, I'm able to obtain something which will help not only me, but my siblings as well. It's a very good thing, not only for me, but for my family. So as I was doing my businesses, I got profit, used that profit to pay my exam fee, as the director said.
And the founder, Sports Aid Development Trust, Paul Zulu, has called on the members of the public to change their perception about the survey.
Maybe it's our culture. We don't want to see something new. You know, when you give a revolving fund to a girl and people asking questions, where do they get money? Are they Satanists also? Because they think no one can empower girls with money. They think when you give money, maybe we're getting money from evil sources. They think we are Satanists. They don't know that we've got partners who are supporting us, where we're getting these resources to give the girls. Some they are shunning the support because they think we are Satanists. Who can give money for free? These are the questions that people are asking. But we need to deal with this myth. It's a myth that is there, but people should appreciate that the people with innovation who are trying to make a difference in this country, who are trying to uplift the lives of the girls. This is what we are doing. We are looking for sponsorship from across the world, and we are getting these partners who are coming on board, and who are helping us to reach out to these girls.
Equality of opportunity is a social ideal that combines concern with freedom and equality, and this social ideal provides